What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Now, I want to talk to you about something that's kind of a touchy subject within the watch community, and that is cheap watches. You guys are spending too much money on cheap watches. I'm sorry. No, you know what? I'm not sorry. You guys save up all your money, you work really hard, and then you go blow it on like a Gucci watch. Why does Gucci even make watches? They don't care about watches, but you spend your money on it. I'm working on my outbursts. It is 2:41. Let's get down to business. There are way too many affordable watches out there for you to even have to go and look at a cheap one. All right, and yes, there is a distinction between affordable and cheap, and hopefully, if I've done my job, by the end of this video, you guys will have a very firm grasp on that principle. So before we get any deeper, I think there's two things that we need to recognize. Number one, regardless of a person's income, people have very different spending habits. Some people like to spend a lot, some people don't like to spend that much. And number two, people have very different definitions of what they consider to be affordable. So although this is somewhat subjective, I'm gonna do my best to most accurately define an affordable watch, and hopefully you can take this information and save yourself some money. So although price isn't everything when looking at an affordable watch, I believe that anything $1,000 and under could safely fit the criteria of an affordable watch. However, it should be known that there are watches priced upwards of $1,000, even well beyond $1,000, that I believe are cheap pieces of shit poop. So I think that when looking at affordable watches, you can separate them into three tiers. You got your entry-level watches, the $200 mark. Then you got your midline watches, the $500 mark. And then for the high rollers, you got your $1,000 watches. Now those, I believe, could be classified as the high-end affordable watch. So to help you guys understand what those three tiers look like, I've picked out three watches from my personal collection that I believe best highlight those three tiers. Okay, now I get asked all the time, what would be the best first watch, right? What would be the best entry level watch? Well, I say look no further than the Seiko SKX007. Now, I've done an in-depth review on this watch. Click the link in the description below and you can learn a lot more about this watch. And who knows, you may want one for yourself. But why is this on the affordable watch list? Well, as stated earlier, this is the quintessential entry-level watch. Okay, when you pick this watch up, you can feel that it is just a quality piece. Okay, it doesn't feel tinny. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels very robust, very substantial. And what are you getting when you pay for this watch? Well, you're getting a in-house made automatic movement, okay? And you're even getting some complications. You're getting a date and a day indicator. You're getting a threaded crown with a 200-meter water resistance rating. So you'll literally be able to take this watch wherever you go. You can shower with it. You can swim with it. You don't have to worry about it. You are not going to break this watch. In the little review I did, I talk about how durable this watch is. And hey, if this is the first watch you can get a lot of looks out of this watch just by changing the straps. So get this watch, get a couple different straps, and you got a couple different looks going there. It's a very versatile piece. Another awesome reason to get this watch, and the reason I feel this watch is quite valuable, especially for a first-time budding watch enthusiast, is that there is so much literature about this particular watch, and there is a huge aftermarket for this watch, okay? So if you are someone that likes to tinker with things, find out how they work, there's so much written about this watch online, and there's such a huge modding community that you can really get in there, change it up, learn how watches work. And yeah, I feel this is an amazing watch for under $200. All right, so you have a Seiko SKX, and now you're getting that itch. You're interested in starting a watch collection. So what do you reach for? Well, I say you get yourself a Hamilton Jazzmaster. Now, this Hamilton Jazzmaster is known as the Hamilton Jazzmaster Open Heart, and this one actually retails for a bit above the $500 mark, but with some savvy shopping, I'm sure you'll be able to find one closer to the $500 price point. This is what I would consider the midline affordable watch. So what are you getting when you pay for a $500 watch like this? Well, you are paying for a Swiss automatic movement. So with the Seiko SKX, you're getting a very good Japanese movement, but with this, you're playing with the big boys now. You now have a Swiss automatic watch. You're paying a little bit for the Hamilton name, let's be honest. This watch has a very high attention to detail. The finishing quality is absolutely there. It's much more refined than that Seiko SKX. There's a lot more to look at. It's very cosmetically impressive. As you can see, there's a display case back, and the movement looks all polished and beautiful. So yeah, you're getting a very fancy piece for the $500 mark. And again, I can't tell you how many compliments I get on this watch. And I only paid just above $500 for it. Crazy! Okay, so you guys got yourself an SKX, you got yourself a Jazzmaster, and now you are a full-blown watch addict. So what are you gonna get for your third watch? Well, I say, for around $1,000, you can get yourself a Frederique Constant Moon Timer. So what are you getting when you pay $1,000 for a watch like this? Well, you are paying a bit for the Frederique Constant Geneva, right there. You're paying for it to say Swiss made. But you're also getting a lot of watch. There's an incredible attention to detail. I love how smoothly the second hand sweeps across the dial. I love how the Arabics are raised off the dial, so there's some awesome texturing going on there. You're also getting some really interesting complications. You're getting a moon phase indicator, so you can see in what position the moon is in, and you're getting a date function. You're also getting a very tough watch. This has a threaded crown with, I believe it's above a 100 meter water resistance rating. And as you can see, the display case back is showing a beautiful movement. This movement is even more beautiful than that of the Hamilton Jazzmaster. You can see it's engraved. You can see there is some engraving around the case back as well with some inking there. Just a very, very refined, tough watch, and it looks amazing too, and all for around $1,000. Now this particular watch, its MSRP is like above $2,000, but never pay MSRP for a watch, okay? Take your time, find the best price. You can easily find this watch for right around $1,000. So on the surface, these three watches that I shared with you may seem quite different, but they're actually more similar than you'd think. You see, these all have in-house automatic movements. The quality control is superb with these three pieces because they are manufactured by companies that are known for one thing, all right? Making watches. Wow, it's mind-blowing that someone would want to buy a watch from a watch manufacturer. But you see, not everybody thinks about that, okay? Not everybody thinks like a watch enthusiast. You see, the general public doesn't really care about the product. They care about the brand. And hey, I'm guilty of it too. I like Rolexes, I have Rolexes, I have Omegas, I'm wearing a Cartier, and I understand that even with those brands, I am paying for the brand name. I like what the brand name means and represents. I'm just as much of a brand whore as anybody else. However, I also understand the principle of value. So no matter which brand you're buying from, even the Rolexes, Omegas, Pateks, Cartiers, you're going to be paying for the brand name on some level, right? But the difference between the Rolexes and some of the watches that come out of the designer brands like Gucci, Lacoste, Burberry, even Coach, is that when you take a Rolex and you remove all the branding from that watch, the watch will still be mechanically impressive, there will still be an attention to detail, the finishing quality is superb, and the price for the most part will be warranted. But when you do the same thing to one of those designer watches, like let's say I have a Gucci watch and I remove all the Gucci branding from that watch, you're left with a severely overpriced watch with a subpar movement and little attention to detail is just not worth at all what you paid for it. So you gotta ask yourself, why do people keep buying these watches from these companies that aren't really known for making watches? Why are they wasting their money? Well, it's because they want a high-end accessory and they like what these high-end brand names represent. I don't blame them. You see, these people see that Rolex is a high-end company, but Rolexes cost $5 to $7 grand and they don't want to pay for that when they can look at another high-end company like Gucci and see that their watches are $600 to $1,000. Hey, I'd rather buy that and I can have a high-end accessory on my wrist and look cool on Instagram. We can combat this problem with education, right? We need to let people know that there are other very impressive options out there. Unfortunately, not a lot of people know about companies like Hamilton, even though they've been around forever making incredibly impressive pieces. I mean, Elvis wore a fucking Hamilton, okay? If it's good enough for the king, it's good enough for you. I cannot tell you how many compliments I get on this watch whenever I wear it, okay? It's crazy, and the majority of people don't know that I've paid way less than $1,000 for it. So guys, bottom line, do your homework, save some money, don't just impulse buy things that sound cool or look cool. Do your research, and hey, if you have any questions or you want my opinion on a watch you're looking at, feel free to contact me. I will point you in the right direction. Okay? You can reach me here, leave me a comment, leave me a message, or you can find me on Instagram at The Simple Consultant. As always, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with other watch enthusiasts, maybe people that are getting into watches. Hopefully this can help point them in the right direction, save them some money. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and as always, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.